Hey Gauchos, welcome to another episode of UCSB TV. I hope your quarters are off to a great start and you're going to some of the great events that are happening on campus. Be sure to stay tuned to find out what's going on at UCSB.
Hey Gauchos, I'm Megan. Here are the events going on around campus this week. Today, January 29th, Sage Center will feature a lecture by Dr. Henry Roediger, a distinguished professor at Washington University in St. Louis. His lecture, Collective Memory, a new arena for cognitive research, will take place today from 4 to 5 p.m. in Psych Room 1312. Don't miss out. Also today, UC Riverside's Professor of Education and Public Policy, Cassandra Guarino, will host a talk, Are Women Taking Care of the Academic Family? The talk will investigate the amount of academic service performed by male versus female faculty. This interesting talk will take place in the Don Gevert's boardroom from 4 to 5 p.m. You won't want to miss it. Tonight at 7:30 p.m., best-selling author, CNN senior analyst, and staff writer for The New Yorker, Jeffrey Toobin, is coming to Campbell Hall for a talk titled Politics, Media, and the Law in the Post-Obama Age. The event is free for UCSB students and $20 for non-students, and books will be available for purchase and signing after the event. Tomorrow, January 30th, head to Pollock Theater at 7:30 p.m. for a screening of Score, a film music documentary. The film follows the creative struggles of designing a modern film soundtrack from scratch. Also, be sure to stick around for a post-screening discussion with the producer, Robert Kraft. Wednesday, January 31st and Thursday, February 1st, head over to the Art, Design, and Architecture Museum for a collaborative performance showcasing art, music, dance, theater, and poetry titled Still We Rise. The performances are dedicated to all the dreamers amongst our UCSB student population. The performance begins at 5:30 on both dates and no tickets are required. Wednesday, January 31st at 8 p.m., singer and songwriter Jose Gonzalez is coming back to UCSB by popular demand. Tickets are $18 for UCSB students and $25 for the general public. Head to Campbell Hall to see what Gonzalez is all about. Finally, this Thursday, February 1st, the Women in Technology group will begin live on-air readings of UCSB Reads 2018 book selection, Lab Girl by Hope Jaron. The readings will be aired weekdays at noon on KCSB 91.9 FM. Throughout the winter and spring quarters, faculty and students will read Lab Girl in classes, and on April 3rd, 2018, UCSB will welcome the author for a free lecture in UCSB's Campbell Hall, to which all are welcome. Be sure to tune in to KCSB to keep up with the live readings. If you want any more information on any of these events, head over to the UCSB events page to find out more. Now, Kalisha with your weekly sports update.
Hey Gauchos, it's Kalisha with your weekly update on Gaucho sports. Men's basketball beat Cal State Fullerton with a score of 83-64 on Wednesday, January 17th. On January 18th, women's water polo lost their match against the Chinese national team with a score of 7-4, but brought home a win on January 19th against Fresno Pacific with a score of 21-0. Women's basketball also lost on January 18th to UC Davis with a score of 68-61. Women's swimming beat UCD on January 19th with a score of 150-144. Women's tennis fell to UCLA on January 19th with a score of 4-2, but brought home a win on the 20th against UCD with a score of 6-1. Men's and women's swimming both beat Pacific on January 20th with scores of 151-137 and 164-107. On January 20th, women's water polo beat Cal Baptist with a score of 8-3, but fell to Michigan with a score of 10-7. Men's and women's basketball both won their games on January 20th. The men beat UC Irvine with a score of 70-58, and the women beat Long Beach State with a score of 90-74. Men's volleyball also won on January 20th with a score of 3-1 against Pepperdine. Women's water polo fell to UCLA with a score of 10-6, but beat Fresno State with a score of 12-7 on January 21st. Men's volleyball defeated Loyola with a score of 3-1 on January 25th. Men's golf competes during the Waves Challenge today, January 29th, and tomorrow, January 30th. Women's basketball takes on Cal State Northridge at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. January 31st, and men's basketball takes on Hawaii at 7 p.m. on Thursday, February 1st. Men's and women's tennis both play on Friday, February 2nd. They take on San Diego State at 1:30 p.m. and women take on Pepperdine at 1 p.m. Men's volleyball takes on BYU on Friday, February 2nd at 6 p.m. Women's tennis has 2 matches on Saturday, February 3rd. Their first match is against San Francisco University at 9 a.m. and Kansas State at 2 p.m. Men's tennis takes on Fresno State at noon on Saturday, February 3rd. Women's basketball plays Hawaii on Saturday, February 3rd at 2 p.m. and men's basketball plays Cal State Northridge at 7 p.m. And finally, men's volleyball takes on BYU on Saturday, February 3rd at 6 p.m. To find out more on any of these sporting events, head to ucsbgauchos.com. And now to Diana with your news update.
Hi Gauchos, welcome to another week of news headlines. The tragic natural disasters that struck Santa Barbara County are still affecting us today. The Daily Nexus reports that beaches in Goleta, Santa Barbara, and Carpinteria remain closed due to contamination from runoff. The mudslides carried waste into the ocean that could be very harmful to beachgoers. The bacteria found in the beaches can cause certain illnesses including rashes, chills, and ear infections. The Daily Nexus also reports that the Isla Vista Community Service District Board of Directors called for a special election in order to implement a new utility tax. The expected revenue from the tax would go towards improving the Isla Vista community. In other news, the Office of Student Life just announced that applications are now open for memorial scholarships, awarded annually in the name of members of our student body whose lives were cut short under tragic circumstances. With these scholarships, our community recognizes each namesake's unique contributions to our campus and inspires the continuation of his or her unique legacy. All 4 scholarships are due Friday, February 9th by 11:45 p.m. Check your UCSB email account for an email from University Announcements for more information. That's all for this week. Thank you for listening. Now back to you, Celie.
That's all for this week, Gauchos. Be sure to stick around at the end of our episode for a short informational video on the food bank, one of the many great organizations run by associated students on campus. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next week. So this is called the mobile food distribution. It's part of our World Hunger Week celebration. So we basically bring the food bank to the students, making it easier for them to pick up food and bring awareness to food insecurity. One of the biggest misconceptions students have is that they don't think they qualify for the food bank, but actually everyone qualifies because it's part of your student fee. So it's located on the 3rd floor of the UCSB, open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and you can stop by anytime you want to just grab a snack, or if you're hungry and you want fruits and vegetables, we also have those too. So come check us out.